will this team pick up where they left off or not when and if, because he is going to come back when LeBron comes back? And what are you seeing that's different without him?
Eric, I'm going to say something crazy. LeBron has been obviously a staple in this league. I mean, he was there for both Kobe's performance and Bam's performance, right?
Yeah.
He's still playing really, really good this year. There's nothing to fault that. But if I was LeBron James, and I kind of was, sitting back, I watched the first 15 games, how the Lakers were. They were about 11-4. I've watched these last couple games, how they're playing. I see that Lakers are 10-2 with just AR and Luka. Their offensive efficiency is really high in those games. They're actually up to number 6 in the league right now in offensive efficiency. So they're definitely becoming more of a fluid offensive team. If I were him right now, I would volunteer to come off the bench. I know that sounds crazy, and I understand that it's LeBron freaking James. I would say, could you imagine this scenario where he says, you know what? I can play anywhere. I can start for every single team in this league. But I feel I'm going to make the decision. So it's on his terms. I'm making the decision. I'm going to come off the bench because of the flow of the first unit and the flow of Luka and AR together. I don't want to ruin that. And I'm doing this because I want to win a championship this year. So I think it could be one of those moves that not only just galvanizes the team, but it makes you just appreciate LeBron James that much more. I feel like right now, Laker fans just, get rid of LeBron. We can't wait to have this team without LeBron. He should just, not play the rest of the season. Obviously fucking not. He's one of our best players. He's still a top player in this league. But imagine him making that move and the Lakers keep winning the way they are. He gets to play with a lineup where it's okay, you bring him to be more the point forward. You kind of stagger the lineup a little bit better. Obviously, towards the end of the game, they're all going to kind of mesh together, but it gives more time with those two together on the court. I think that could be the difference on being out in the first round or actually having a long playoff run.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you feel, and you answered it, but because here's my thing. So if you're going to make a drastic move like that, it's got to be very significant. I mean, obviously nothing is guaranteed. You could still go out the first round, but it's got to be a move where you feel like there is such a significant difference, because it is asking a lot for someone that has started for 23 years. Yeah. And I do agree, though, that if he were to do it, that I don't know if he cares a lot. I know he cares a lot about his legacy. He does. He may not say it, but I really believe it will kind of turn the thought of him right now, because there's a lot of negativity around LeBron. Yeah. I feel like it will do that. Now, if they do that and they go on and miraculously win a championship, that's the one caveat is
the GOAT. He would be the GOAT if they won a championship, if he made that move.
Do you think, great. Okay. Do you think, though, that it's they won it because it wasn't LeBron, it was...
No. You're putting it in the hands of him, right? So yes, would it be... We already know that this is more Luka's team. That's not a question. Right. I think he already understands that this year. I'm not saying that AR is better than LeBron at this point. I'm just saying the flow of AR and Luka as Batman and Robin is better. But then you get this superstar off the bench that turns your second in unit into just a completely different team. You obviously are still going to play 30 minutes a game. He's not going to not play 30 minutes a game. But imagine him coming in and you got him, Kennard, Jackson Hayes running the wing. You keep in Rui, you keep in AR, you keep in one of these two, but you just stagger the Luka LeBron more. I think that's the big difference. Is you stagger Luka LeBron versus having them always kind of batting, not butting heads, but it's just more of like allowing them to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this is all hypotheticals. We probably know it's like not going to happen, but we're just throwing it out there because we threw out
we're not coaches. Yep.
Yeah, we threw out the Austin, Reeves maybe coming off the bench. Yeah, it's obvious that Lakers. Well, I don't want to say obvious. I mean, it just seems to be that Lakers are a lot more active defensively. I think to me that's the big thing without LeBron. Now, with this thought at the end of the day. And you could only hope to be in close playoff games with 5-6 minutes left. If you can get into that, then you'll take it. But what I would be interested to see is like you stagger that and like how are those 5 to 6 minutes? I'm assuming with your thoughts, like it means that those 3 will be in the lineup, right? To end games.
Yes. Like towards the end of the game. Yeah. I think they'll be the typical lineup, but I think it's like how you start games, right? How you start the third quarter. Those are huge differences. I think they'll have no issue down the stretch in that type of play because now you've allowed AR to kind of not be that like where he kind of falls out of the rotation a little bit or like out of what he normally is good at. So you allow him to do that more and you allow Luka and AR to kind of bounce off each other because I feel like they flow pretty well when they're in that kind of state. And like you said, I think defensively, their defensive presence with that squad, like as a starting unit, is better. And then just overall, everybody's kind of just being able to fly around. And I think that takes a lot of the pressure off of LeBron, right? Especially with some of these missed defensive assignments and kind of not being able to stay with some of these guys. You're now playing against more second unit guys, right? You imagine him coming in around the 6 minute mark, playing that 6 minute to the end of the quarter, then coming out and then, then some back out and coming back in and playing the next 6, like it looks like it could flow pretty well.
You think, yeah, because I was going to ask if we can kind of do that with him starting, but they've had those options. Cause like I've always been on like, you don't really like potentially don't win or lose games the first quarter. But I mean, for example, a game like Denver, remember like last week, they were down 11-0 or 13-2, something like that.
Yeah. It's big.
I mean, they lost the game right there. They ended up crawling back, but because they were down, they ended up losing it. So yeah, and then those beginning of third. So it's important. I'm just wondering. So for you, it's more like because obviously we can have Reeves come off the bench, but I know there's a lot of thought around that with his contract, everything. But it's more about separating Luka and LeBron. You think?
LeBron. Yeah, now that I watch them more and more and see how they play together, it's more about that separation because I feel like Luka and AR are definitely just 1-2 back and forth. LeBron is just a different type of style because he's so powerful. He still can pass the ball, rebound, do all that stuff, but he's more just like, he's getting to the basket, like power, like more of a power player in that way. And then he kind of settles for threes. Luka and AR are almost like Batman and Robin. They do similar things. They're always trying to create advantage as an offensive player and get fouled, right? So I think that just flows better at this point. So I would like to see a little bit more of the staggering regardless. I know this is something that sounds ridiculous, sounds like I highly doubt will ever happen, but I just can imagine making this move, like how much the image could change for him. And it doesn't mean like next year, if he leaves and goes to Cleveland or he retires or whatever it is, he's not going to start, which he probably could. Like he could start for every team in this league. But it just what a move and what a power play that would be.
Yeah, it's happened with certain players that just a matter of time where you're maybe you're just like for your specific team, you're just better coming off the bench.
Yeah.
Not to say his like numbers and all that are obviously up there with starters. But yeah, I'm just trying to think because like you play like 6 minutes to start the first. So you play 6 minutes to start the third. So that's 12 minutes. And let's say the last 4 minutes of the game. So that is like 16 minutes. Now, I know it's not exactly that, but if the Lakers really stuck to that, because he doesn't always come out of the 6-minute mark. Sometimes it's a little further on. But I feel like if you were like, okay, like that's like what did I say, 6-12, about 16 minutes in the playoffs, right? Those minutes are gonna come up. I mean, they're gonna start playing 38 to 40 minutes, right?
Yeah.
At least Luka and Austin.
He would still play 12 to 18 minutes in a half, right? Because you would do like, say, come in at 6 minutes, and then he's gonna like take probably another couple minute break and then come in and probably play like 9 minutes or something like that, like in that way, or whatever the fashion it is. And then you're gonna still play probably more in the fourth and the third, a little bit more. So he would still be like in that 28 to 32 minute mark, I think. But you also got to remember, like, we were surprised he didn't come back last game. Like, he's dealing with like the aches and pains of being 23 in his 23rd season. Like, his body is just not where it needs to be. And if you want to save this body, if you want to allow him to be the best version of himself in the playoffs, you do have to figure it out. You can't just go out there and just play 38 minutes every night. Like, it's not going to happen at this point. And we knew this kind of going into the end of the season in the last 15, 20 games, that this is what's been going on the last 2 or 3 seasons. So I think it would be a way to preserve his body, a way to allow him to get into the playoffs and be able to withstand a 7-game series.
It's compelling. I mean, we know it's a players' league, but if it's all about the team and winning and conserving his body, or player X, if they really, really, truly felt, and the data shows that it would be best doing it this way, it's interesting. Like that it's pretty much like probably not going to happen. But you know what I mean? Like,
it's a cool scenario to think about. I know it's a lot, and it would change things. He's never had that. He's never come off the bench, right? He's not been that type of player. It changes his whole routine. Like, you know, he's a routine-based guy. Like that. That would be, I think, the hardest change he would ever have to make is that's how he's done for 23 years, right? Like, his whole pregame, when he goes, how many hours it is, what is his warm up, and then all of a sudden he's sitting on the bench for a little bit, right? So that would be different. But man, I feel like it's a way to save his body, and it's a way to actually save this Lakers season. Not that they're having like this worst season that they're having, but in a way to make him more of a legit contender.
Yeah, if only it's like, I feel like it's like it would have been so nice if we had like a lot of this data like coming into the season, and like he obviously misses the first like 13 to 15 games, and then you bring him in as like a bench piece, right? Because he's coming off injury, and then he gets acclimated to this new role, not obviously with 17 games left, and he's used to his routine. So that would be like the one thing like we talked about. But it's a fun hypothetical to talk about. I mean, regardless, Lakers are playing some pretty decent ball. I don't think there's any rush to have him come back. I think they saw the March schedule and realized, damn, they play like every other night. They play a lot of games and some back-to-backs too. And so they're probably trying to kind of buy some time with that as well. Yeah,
for sure. And, you know, obviously they're playing well. They can play Chicago. I highly doubt he play. I mean, maybe he does, but I think giving a little bit more time against Chicago would probably be a good idea. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I highly doubt that anything like that happens, but it's an interesting topic to kind of discuss there.
Hey, if it happens, you heard it here first. So